Hi, everybody. It's me, Billy, the Blue Ranger here, and my Mighty Morphin Big form. Now, first off, the question that I want to ask everybody, and I am probably going to have to mention this again, is Siobhan and Disney. Because apparently there's always been this, I don't know, difference opinion on Siobhan and Disney and how they work. Now, first off, everybody assumes or stories about how Disney didn't like the Power Rangers and it was just out of obligation as far as Toei and Bandai were concerned, and that Siobhan liked the Power Rangers. Now, the reason I'm making this video again is because I watched another video from another person and he was talking about it. And I happen to like both the Siobhan and Disney Power Rangers. Granted that both companies had different takes on it, and even if it was a obligation on Disney's part to continue the series from Wild Force to Motor Power Rangers, to Ranger Power Motors, then what was it a bad thing? If it was an obligation, at least we got all the Power Ranger seasons from that, regardless, okay? If Disney didn't continue the Power Rangers at that time, it would just be Mighty Morphin, Zeo, Turbo in Space, Lost Galaxy, Lightspeed, Best Route, Time Force, and Wild Force, and that'd be it. And out of obligation, that's what we got: Wild Force, Ninja Storm, Dino Thunder, Space Patrol Delta, Mystic Force, Operation Overdrive, Jungle Fury, Ranger Power Motors, And when Siobhan bought it back, we got Samurai, Mega Force, Dino Charge, and Ninja Steel. Now, regardless of who liked the show better, if it was Disney or Siobhan, regardless if it was an obligation on one part, I happen to think that both companies did a good job with it. Granted, they both had a different take on it. Granted that one basically may have saw more as an obligation than the other, but I really don't care if it was an obligation. That's what people say. And if it was an obligation for Disney to continue doing the Power Rangers at that given time, then as I mentioned earlier, that was a good thing because at least we got the seasons, okay? And I always liked Siobhan. I always liked Disney. I liked both Power Rangers, okay? There's going to be people who only like the Siobhan, the original Siobhan, 1993 to 2001 AD. People who only like the Disney, 2001 to 2010 AD. And people who like the next Siobhan era, 2010 to present. But it always seems to be people who argue over what seasons were better, what ownership was better, And at the end of the day, it only comes down to two things: a matter of opinion, and it's always going to differ. Everybody's going to have their different opinion regardless. And the thing is, in my opinion, I like Siobhan and I like Disney as far as doing the Power Rangers were concerned. I felt they both did a good job with the Power Rangers, and even if it was an obligation, then it was, at least we got something good out of it. You got people who praise Siobhan and hate Disney, but I never understood that. People who praise Siobhan and hated Disney, think of it. If Disney didn't buy Power Rangers, there would be no more Power Ranger seasons until Siobhan bought it back. That's if they did buy it back, okay? So for all you people who complained about the Disney ownership and everything, remember, if it wasn't for Disney buying it at the time and continuing it, it would not been around anymore. It would have been done. There would have been some action figures, some video games, some CDs or DVD or VHS sales, but it would have been done. So Disney owning it and continuing it was a good thing, even if it was an obligation. And I was surprised when Siobhan bought the Power Rangers back from Disney. But I wasn't one of those people who, started going, yeah, Take that, Disney, because I was never one of those people. You know? And I know I made this video before, and I know it's going to be one of those opinions, topics that the Power Rangers community will always debate on. There's always going to be a debate over Saban or Disney, who did a better job with the Power Rangers, you know. So it's always going to be that. And no matter who you talk to, they're going to differ. Their opinions are going to differ. But in my opinion, I always felt that Disney did a good job. Saban did a good job. I like both of them. And, you know, I do see, and I'm happy that Saban did buy back the Power Rangers. Not because I felt that Disney didn't do a good job, but because I was just surprised that Saban, you know, would buy back the Power Rangers, because it was like nostalgia, basically, you know, something from the past. And then the fact is that I was surprised when Saban bought the Power Rangers from Disney, because I had an idea that even though Disney would continue to do the Power Rangers, their heart wasn't in it. You know, it was an annoyance, it was an obligation, they didn't like it. And sooner or later, they would just basically, you know, be done with it. It wouldn't have mattered it wouldn't have mattered what Toei or Bandai did at that point. So it was good that Saban bought back the Power Rangers, so now the Power Rangers can continue, and they can be underneath ownership that likes them and finds it enjoyment to do them, and not just an annoyance or obligation. And their heart's actually in it. But that doesn't mean to say that I completely hated any of them. I didn't. I like the Saban era, the Disney era, and the Saban era. Okay? But I felt they both did a good job, even though I think Saban liked the Power Rangers a lot more than Disney did. But at the same time, I think that though, if it wasn't for Disney buying the Power Rangers from Saban, the Power Rangers would have not continued at that point. And it was not for Saban buying the Power Rangers back from Disney, the Power Rangers would have not continued at the point they're continuing now. So that's about it. I'm Billy, aka the Blue Power Ranger. Hope you enjoyed this video.